All right, let's get into it. I'm a little bit late on this. I've been managing a trade in Ethereum. Not a great trade. Pretty sure I'm about to get stopped out. Um, but basically, we saw this push down, put buyback, a little bit of inside bar, and then an outside up bar. And I was thinking, yeah, that maybe looks good for another push up. Could be strong enough. I woke up. I just woke up. I just looked at the chart. I didn't look at any other context, and I just put a bid. I just put a stop buy up here right above this at 44.40. So I filled there, and my stop is down here at uh, under this one, 44.17. I put it at 44.16 initially, and then we got to 44.16.1. I think at that time it was 44.16.2, and so I moved it down to like 44.15.4 or something like that. So imminently, should be getting stopped out imminently, and if not, maybe we get a nice candle here and we can get a little pump and I can make some money there. But that is not the focus. The focus is BTC. Let's get cooking. So the last time we did an update was right here at daily close. And I think this even happened within the first hour of the new daily open. So basically, we've been kind of accepting this region um, as a support, right? And kind of breaking out above it. This channel is pretty much done, I would say. We had one push down, two pushes down, a third push down, and this third push got eaten right back up. And we haven't even revisited this area that yesterday we thought could be a potential trading range. All of this that we were saying, yeah, we need to acknowledge that this is probably going to get retested as a trading range. No, sir, it has not been retested at all. We haven't come anywhere near it. So that's looking pretty decent for bulls, I would say. Um, let's just start drawing some. Let's just start drawing some stuff, right? So we have this channel. I think we can stop. I don't think we need to keep drawing it out. We can just make it be done like right here. And say this is 1, 2, 3 pushes. And now we've had a strong buyback, a retest of this low that held, another nice buyback here, and putting in higher low after higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, using just the green bars, right? This is the low, I guess, and this is the low, but this is not a higher low. So we'll call this a higher low. This is a higher low. This bar puts in a higher low. Then we have kind of a higher low here as well. So can somewhat draw some sort of trend line here, or maybe like here, this kind of thing. And seeing that bulls have some sort of support, so even maybe if we even revisit this area 61.3, 61.4, it could be a potential buy. But this morning, 8 p.m. candle and 9 p.m. candle together, I think are kind of confirming, because I guess we can still have this type of maybe a channel. So maybe you don't want to buy above this necessarily, but I think we should be looking for I think we are kind of in a buy the pullback mode. Any pullbacks in this kind of area, probably looking to buy it up and probably looking for a push to this region, wherever that is. What is it, like 65 maybe? Oh, this is all the way up to 60. Yeah, this is about 65. Maybe all the way up to 67, but maybe at least just to like this area here, 65, 66 kind of thing. So I'm not sure if we then get a. See how messy my chart is? Yo, this is way too messy, bro. I got too much shit on here. And the problem is, like, I like to keep some of it because I'm like, oh, I'm going to want that someday. And it's like, I almost never want it. I almost never want all this extra noise. My XBT chart, my BitMEX chart, you should see it. It's just everything down here. There's nothing past this point. Anyway, we had this break. we have this one push down, two push down, strong buyback. Maybe now we're looking for, maybe on a more macro time frame, we're looking for kind of a pullback and then a pump, and that could take us to a new all-time high, or we could just stop here. I think this sell-off is pretty strong. I think it's too strong for us to just go straight up. I mean, obviously we can go straight up if we happen to, like, especially if the next bar happens to be like this. I guess we can go straight up, but I just don't think that's necessarily the case. I think there's going to be sellers probably looking to put in to add to their shorts, maybe around this region, maybe a little bit higher up, depending on smaller, like lower time frame structures that we might be seeing. I think this momentum right now, this is too strong to just be putting in shorts right here, just like bids. Probably would like to wait and see a reaction, and if we get kind of like a weak reaction that kind of is able to, stop the bull's momentum, then perhaps sellers might open up more shorts. But if you remember, we did take all-time high, and we did put in two legs of selling. So there's definitely a pretty reasonable probability that we're going to retest this high. And because these two legs were so strong, it's pretty reasonable that when we test the high, we get rejected and put another two legs in to the downside. So not super hyper aggro bullish on Bitcoin just yet. It seems like alts are doing some work though. Ethereum put in an all-time high today. AXS has put in a new all-time high today. I guess that's a little bit more related to that metaverse stuff. Mana, I guess, has put in an all-time high. Decentraland, I used to own this. I used to own this back in like 2017, some like that. I might still own it, to be honest, on like a Binance account somewhere. Yeah, I must have bought it like in this area or something like that. I probably don't own it. I probably got rid of it. I probably dusted it by now. But yeah, that would have been sick, huh? Shoot, girl. I don't know how much I put in it. Probably minimal amount. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Looks like my stop still has not been run. That's sick. But my original stop, 44.16, has been run. I think we're at 44.15.4. I don't want to open and show because I don't want to show my position size. But yes, obviously we're hoping that we just start pumping here. These two candles, not the best, but this is an inside bar, so we have a little bit of hope that maybe, we tapped below and start pumping. I think pretty realistically with Ethereum, we're looking at, like, we've just hit all-time high. We have this nice trend line, strong trend line. Excuse me. That if we revisit it, maybe we're looking for longs with more size. We kind of had this broken. It's easier to see on the 1 hour time frame. Kind of had this structure that got broken. We can redraw it to be this way, but usually when you have to redraw it like this, the trend line break is somewhat impending. We can draw it like this, and then when we do that, we recognize that this region here is a pretty decent sell-off for bears. It isn't particularly large, only about $100, only 3%, compared to the size of this move, which is 14. But bears were in control of this market for, almost 10 hours, something like that, how many ever candles this is. And I think that's enough that when we put in this little pump here and then start to show some weakness here, we could definitely have some selling occur. Here we have, let's do it like this. We had this pump, 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 pump. This is your first signal to short. And it produced a little two-legged short there. On the run up here, our first opportunity to short. This was the first time, and it failed immediately. It never got filled. Here kind of gives you a second opportunity, also never fills. When these two don't fill, you're expecting probably another leg up, maybe of similar distance to this. So the next one is this kind of crappy doji, also never fills. When I say fills, I mean the next bar should trade below the bar. So here, this was the first bar that traded below the low of the prior of its last bar in this entire run up, right? But it never got traded below, so it doesn't trigger. The short doesn't trigger. Same thing here. Traded below the last bar, but the next bar doesn't trade below it, so the short doesn't trigger. Here, trades below the last bar, next bar doesn't trade below, so the short doesn't trigger. This isn't a great signal bar for a short anyway because it's a doji. And we come back up here, and this is the next time we get a signal bar. So this is the fourth one. Usually the fourth one is a little bit more reliable. The first one was here, the second one was here. When the second one doesn't work out, sellers are not looking, bears are not looking for sale to sell anymore. So the third one they ignore, and they look for the fourth one. And this fourth one comes after another micro trend line on this last move up, break, retest, and now the short triggers on this one, and this is all you get. Pretty weak, actually. If you're waiting and you're only triggering the short underneath here, the maximum you can get is $60. Not very bearish. So bulls take back control, and now if this is going to be your first signal for a short, your second signal for the short is, I suppose it's technically this candle, the candle that we're on right now. So kind of a crucial candle. If bears can close it red, I would think that will be another short signal, especially if they can like break it, make it red, and start pushing back into this range below 4,400 kind of area. That would be a decent signal for maybe a short relief kind of relief bounce to like maybe somewhere in this area, maybe back to the trend line, but maybe we just get kind of like a, I mean, with how shallow this was, we could just get like a bounce like this, maybe like this, and then kind of go. They definitely tried to turn this into an area of bearishness, and it kind of didn't. It kind of just turned into a trading range kind of region, right? Pretty sideways consolidation. So when you have this sideways consolidation, certainly a magnet, bears will try and get it back into this region. If bears can get it back into this region, it's a lot more probabilistic that they can take control of the market, at least temporarily. But we are at all-time highs, so I think the instinct, just like it was last week with the Bitcoin all-time high, is to be looking for buys. I think everyone's looking for buys. Obviously, all bears are panicked right now, unless you've taken this comfy short up here at 44.65. Even that you're not feeling amazing about because of the strength of this last 4-hour candle. By the way, what's the 2-hour candle looking like? Because that one just closed. Yeah. So if this 2-hour candle closes down below, same thing here. This was your first short, triggered, did nothing with it, failed, came back up here. So bears will be looking to add on another one, and then if that fails again, bears are probably looking to capitulate because we're also at all-time high, and that would start to send us. I was taking a look at the Ethereum BTC chart as well, just to take a look at like what's going on here. And I haven't done too much analysis of this. I could do a little bit of an analysis, but just on a cursory look, we have kind of this support down here in this area that we kind of took a bounce off of. We have this trend line that got broken, disrespected. Have not quite had a test of it yet, so possibly we could do kind of like this, but I think the next stop is definitely trying to go to the top of this, which is as well a range, right? So kind of within this range, kind of at the midpoint of this range. So ideally for my trade, obviously, I'm hoping to just see continuation up, but you never know how it goes. So, yeah, okay, that's all I have for this hour. Oh, looks like we did get stopped out. Motherfucker. That sucks. Yeah, it'd be like that, don't it? Anyway, we'll look for a better trade. We'll look for a better entry, somewhere a little bit lower. Maybe we just get a double bottom here now and go. Yeah, I put my stop underneath here just because that was my entry bar. This is obviously the low of the move, but I kind of figured if we get the stop touched on the entry, if we get the stop on the entry bar touched, it's pretty likely that this stop gets run to 44.09. And yeah, 44.05 now, definitely getting run. Um, just a real quick about my trade here. I was definitely thinking we should just keep going straight up from here. If you can see that, I'm just thinking we just go straight upward. When we didn't, and the next bar comes in like this, now I'm thinking, or I'm hoping, right, rather that we're in kind of a channel here, and that maybe the next bar is just all buying, and we hopefully even break above this. At which point, this bull channel probably going to be a bear flag, and this is a pretty strong move from the bears. So we're probably going to be expecting that we do take a shot at the lows, which means that at this point, I'm now thinking I'm probably trying to get out as close to break even as possible. Um, Again, my entry was at 44.40. I added a little bit more on so that I think my ultimate average entry price is like 44.37 or something like that. Added very little extra on, and hoping to get back to kind of 44.40 and then close out. This is a horrible trade, right? Um, Kind of just a FOMO trade because I woke up in the morning and I wasn't necessarily expecting Bitcoin to have flipped this area. So I was just like, yesterday was a day where I spent the whole day watching the Bitcoin chart and I didn't trade. I didn't take any trades on Ethereum, and trading Bitcoin was really tough in this area. Really tough trading yesterday, and Ethereum was just kind of having a chill day, just upward and onward. And then, of course, they took the all-time high. So I was like, today I don't want to make that mistake. I woke up, I saw we're close to all-time high. I saw we have somewhat bullish structure to maybe take a shot at the all-time high. So I was like, all right, let's just do it. And not a great decision, but that's okay. Um, yep, I'll see you guys in 40 minutes.